It's episode 48 of the Colombia podcast. We got Nailah, she's vegan.
Oh yeah.
She doesn't eat chicken, she's vegan. And
We don't eat
she'll
bacon,
rip
baby.
your head off
And I'll eat your face off.
if you eat meat.
Isn't that she's gonna eat their face off? That's not vegan. That sounds cannibalistic.
That's cannibalistic.
To me. That
Yes.
sounds cannibalistic.
We
yeah.
are cannibalistic.
We are cannibalistic.
But we just don't eat our friends, which are the animals.
Our friends are the animals.
Welcome to episode 48. I taught him everything he knows, and I'm about to teach her some stuff.
Ooh.
Episode 48 of the Colombia podcast, Joel. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty great. I just came out of the barber shop.
Barbershop. I'll take
And I
you
got
to
my
the
stripes.
barbershop.
I got my stripes, the racing
You
stripes.
got the
which I-
stripes.
which
I got my racing stripes, but on my underwear.
On your underwear? Under your Oh, that's pretty disgusting.
No.
That is pretty good. That's how we introduce.
Yeah,
let our
that's
guests
how-
learn a little bit about us. Our racing
Right.
stripes on the
First
on the
impression.
underwear.
Yeah, so today is episode 48. We're nearing 52 episodes. We made a promise to ourselves and a goal that we would reach 52 episodes, and we are on 48. And obviously, after 52, we're probably going to still keep going. I don't
Or
know.
shut shit down, you know?
Or just shut it
like-
down. Sell all your lamps. He's got these big ass lamps over here, and
Yeah, a big lamp, a garage sale, or like a front of the house sale.
a
We sell all
podcast
this stuff.
garage sale.
No, we're going. When we hit 52, we're gonna have to, set a new target, 100, and then we keep going from there. I think everything's good.
Yeah. So today we have the lovely Nailah.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. Can you guys hear me well?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
For sure.
I can hear you well. Felipe can hear you well. And what are we drinking today, Nailah?
Well,
Rosé?
have-
No, it's not rosé.
we have a special drink made by Felipe. I don't know, Felipe. What did you put in that?
Yeah, it tastes so good.
You know, home secrets. Home secrets.
Home secrets.
Yes.
Home secrets. It's
secrets.
gin.
Yeah.
If I asked somebody what they put in my drink and they said home secrets, that's a little scary.
I'm gonna stop drinking
Yeah.
right
I
now.
mean, some young
are
guy.
you complaining about the flavor?
No, it tastes really good
I have not
actually.
complained about anything.
Mine's very light because I'm a lightweight and I don't drink. Just one. That's
That's
it.
what I'm saying, son.
You know what I've been liking about the last couple episodes, and now we've got Nailah sitting here, the second Nailah I've known in life, is that all of these people have some really cool last name. Like Donkey, his last name was Rap. TK, his
TK
last
was
name
Boy.
was Boy. And now we have a Rose.
Now we have a
Nailah
Rose.
You guys have a variety of
guests.
guests. That's cool.
Nailah Rose.
Boy, Rap, and Rose. The last three last names on our show. And yeah. So I personally, just to kick it off a little bit of background history. There is none, because I know nothing about this woman, apart from the two lines that she wrote, sort of describing herself in two very concise sentences. And I think Andrew may have had more dialogue with her. So this is another one where this is straight off the cuff. This is our version of freestyling in an interview.
Right. This is an interview where we don't actually know the guest very well. It's actually getting to know her. We know a little bit about her just from what we know from social media and what she's told us about herself. But we want to know more. Like, what the hell are you doing in this country, first of all, when you could be in a first world nation in the greatest country of all, the United States of America,
Yes.
but you're in Colombia.
Yeah.
Damn.
Why are you out here?
Yeah, so-
dodging bullets and riding donkeys? What do you do
Well,
now
first
here?
of all, introduce
I don't
yourself.
ride donkeys, first of all. That's not vegan.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh.
Damn.
We don't ride those.
We don't ride those. Okay.
We
Okay.
only ride something else.
Oh.
We
You know?
What?
ride
I
a
don't
cowboy.
know.
Save a horse, ride a cowboy. You never
Or
heard
ride
that?
a UFO.
Or you
Or
or an
whatever,
alien.
Whatever floats your boat.
No, I said I was going to teach these people some stuff. I think they're going to teach me some stuff
Oh,
today.
you don't
We're
know.
all going to teach each other
So-
something.
Yeah, we all learn. So
Yeah.
introduce yourself, Nailah.
Okay, well, peace and love. My name is Nailah Rose, and I am an earthling. I just exist here, and I came here to Colombia because I am half Colombian, first of all. I was born in Puerto Rico, and my mom's Colombian. I lived in Atlanta
Okay.
for like most of my life. I grew up there, and I've been here for around 3 years now. And I came first because I hadn't seen my mom in such a long time.
Okay.
So it wasn't like I had planned to stay here and live here. But then as I started to experience the quality of life here and how different it is from the States, it's more, you're more connected to who you are in a way as a human being, because over there it's just go go go. What you worry about most is like work, paying bills. That was my reality over there. And when I came here, it completely shifted, and I got in touch with just what it is to actually live and be in the moment. So
Wow, that's cool.
So,
I think
yeah.
a lot of people experience that when they get here to Colombia. It's not the first time I've heard it. That obviously living in Medellin, or maybe Medellin, because Bogota is a little bit different, more fast paced in Bogota because it's a bigger city, more metropolitan. Medellin is still more. I kind of describe Medellin as a big town. It's like you kind of know everybody.
I say little big city.
Yeah, a little big city. That's what it is. And life is a little slower. Life is a little slower. Some things get on your nerves, and then some things are like, damn, that's such a relief.
that's so true.
Yeah. So we're gonna
That's
talk
so
about
true.
some of those things. So a quick question: how long have you been in Colombia?
3 years. Around 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've been in 3 years, and you mentioned before that you are living in the outskirts of Medellin. Where at in Medellin are you living?
It's called Girardota, and it's honestly the best place ever. I've been living there. At first, when I first got there, it was very different because I come from like a city, obviously. So being just like on a mountain, you know, having to move more to do more. Like it's not like, okay, I can just go over there and go get this.
Right.
No, I actually have to work for what I want, and it's not just like I can just call Rappi or Uber, like Uber Eats, come to my house and bring me food. You know?
Yeah. It's a smaller town. It's not like a tiny town, and it's not so far away.
It's not so far away yet.
But
And
it's still
far
far
away is it?
enough.
Yeah, and it's very popular here with that thing called El Señor Caído, and everyone like goes that day. Like people from here walk all the way over there.
And that's during Holy Week, right?
Yeah. So it's really cool also to learn all those things because it's just a different culture, and it's you know it's.
But why
interesting.
Girardota?
Because my mom lives there.
Okay.
And we live there in una finca,
Uh-huh.
and that's also been this is
It's a different
it's
lifestyle,
different,
totally
yeah.
different
It's
lifestyle.
so
And
different.
did you know? That's my Spanish translation. Did you know Colombia or Medellin before, or was that your first time?
No, it's my third time. The first time I was very young, and I came with my mom, and then I left back, and she couldn't go due to like legal, you know, things.
Legal things, yeah.
So she stayed, and then I left, and then I went to live my crazy life back home in Atlanta.
Was it
And-
crazy? Oh, we're gonna
Yeah.
get into that. All right, good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh, why not get into it now?
Yeah, tell us about this
Tell
crazy
us-
life.
So you lived in Atlanta before Colombia.
Hot Atlanta.
Yeah,
Hot
Hot
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
And
Magic
yeah, when you
City.
said Atlanta, nobody says Atlanta, do they? It's like if I
Atlanta.
said Toronto.
Atlanta.
Toronto.
Atlanta.
But I just want people to understand, because if I speak to, you know,
Atlanta.
yeah, people may not like.
They'll understand.
Okay,
They'll
cool
understand.
then. All right.
You be yourself.
Bet Atlanta.
Yeah.
Atlanta.
Well,
I
Atlanta.
came from Atlanta. Bet. Yeah, it was, well, because this is the thing, like, what I preach and what I stand for is to just find yourself. Like, when you're here on this earth, sometimes we can get too caught up on mundane things, and we lose ourselves. We lose who we are. We get caught up in the matrix, like they say, you know, like, I have to pay rent and I have to do this. And that's what I was doing. And I forgot who I really was, you know, who we are when we're kids. What do we love to do when we're kids? What brings us the most joy? So,
I used to love to give wedgies. to
Really?
other kids, yeah.
do you still do that now?
In basketball, yes, I do.
No.
Yeah, I grab them by there, and like I'm posting up, and I'll just grab them by the underwear.
Is he
Yeah.
lying?
Terrible. I don't
win
know.
the
I haven't
position.
seen, I don't get close to him.
I'm gonna like slowly.
I
Yeah.
give Joel
go
wedgies
away.
every
Want a
night.
wedgie?
I don't want a wedgie.
Yeah, you want a
no,
wedgie.
thank you.
No, but I do get what you're saying, because when I was a kid, and it was funny because I was talking to my dad, and he was like, you know, I always knew you were going to be in business. And I'm like, why? And he's like, because I remember when you were like 8 years old, you were reading the Financial Times and following the Coca-Cola stock. And I remember
Wow,
that because it
that's
was like an assignment that like a teacher gave us when we were that old. And, you know, teaching us about the stock market. A great teacher, by the way. And for me, it just clicked right then. And you know when
so you liked it right away?
yeah, like, you know, when you had to draw, do you remember, Joel, when you had to draw, when they told you, draw what you want to be when you grow up? Everyone wants to be a firefighter, an astronaut, a baseball player, a soccer player, whatever. I drew a man with a suitcase.
Really?
It's so boring.
Damn.
And I love basketball. Wow. And I thought, I always had dreams of playing basketball, high level, whatever. But I just knew that it was like, I liked going to the bank. When you were a kid, who liked going to the bank? Nobody likes it.
I did because my mom worked in a bank, and
okay.
It was cool in there because they had AC and stuff in the middle of the Caribbean.
Oh, in the Caribbean.
And Ofu was just
I would
being
love
in
to
there.
do that too. Then.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. So what did you want to be when you guys wanted to grow up?
Yeah, what'd you want to be?
Do you remember?
I wanted to be an artist.
An
I've always
artist?
wanted to be an artist since I was a kid. I've been drawing, painting, creating stuff. Just creating stuff. I love creating, and I think like business. Regardless, we're in business. I studied, business and went to business school and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, my calling is art and creating stuff. And I find that even business can be art and be creative, and you can have like a creative side through business, through marketing, through developing brands and stuff like that. So I'm still passionate about business, and I am passionate about art. I continue to draw, continue to paint, continue to do little things on the side that I feel is artistic. Like you, when I was a kid, I was always drawing. Always, my friends like to come over to my house. It was like you came over. There's a stack of white paper, pencils, and stuff, and we'd sit around and we'd draw. We'd get that out of the way first, and then we could do whatever else they wanted to do. And that was me as a kid.
Well, business is art. Anything. I mean, you can make anything whatever you want it to.
Yeah, that's true.
So, like numbers. That's something that if I wanted to comprehend, maybe I could, but I don't choose to. I stay away from that. But people that understand that's an art in itself. I mean, creation is numbers,
Yeah.
So like everything has like a set of like, it has to be equal parts of everything. Like, you guys know the like Fibonacci and all that. Like
Fibonacci. Wow,
everything
look at
has
you.
to have all those numbers that
Nobody's ever dropped Fibonacci up on the podcast,
Oh.
so go ahead, girl. Do your
Okay.
thing. The Fibonacci sequence. Who would have thought? Okay.
Well, so exactly. You're absolutely right. And art is in everything. And we should see life that way.
And what did you want to be?
When you were
I
a kid.
wanted to,
A
well,
motherfucking gangster.
yeah, from Atlanta.
From Atlanta.
You already know what's
You,
up.
you already know what's up. Atlanta, stand up.
Stand up, no.
Yeah.
But I wanted to be everything that I am right now.
Good.
And I'm proud of that, because I am just alive, man. Like living is just, okay, look, listen, like I'm doing what I like, which is music, activism and all that. But when I think about it, those things make, like I'm doing them. I don't need to, well, first I used to think that I had to reach this kind of like level of numbers and this to call myself that, because we kind of can get caught
That
up
meaning
in that.
successful, or what is that?
That meaning like an artist or
Okay.
an activist. But then those things, you start becoming them as you, like the moment you have that thought, you start becoming that because that's what you want. So yeah.
I think the minute
am
you
that.
become, I think, well, yes, you think them, you begin to become, but once you do them, I think the first time you act and you do it is like, I've said this before on the podcast, like I started off like travel writing and
Travel writing? Oh, like
writing for travel magazines and stuff like that. So I put writer, and then I got a camera, my sister's camera, and I put writer, and then I put like photographer in like a little small thing because I was like, nobody's ever paid me for that shit, so I'm gonna call myself photographer. And the more you begin to photograph, and somebody's like, man, your photos are amazing, I'm like, whoop, take out the thing. I just put, and then you put photographer. And I think the more you do something and you realize that, like I think it was Tim Ferriss that said, if you know more than like 100 people, you're an expert. At that particular point, once you're, better than or more educated than, you can you can boldly say, I'm an activist, or I'm a musician,
Yeah.
or
Right,
I'm
right.
yeah. So
Well,
I just try not to get caught up in those labels. That's just what it is. Like,
Oh,
because
okay.
then you limit yourself. Like, because like, yes, part of it is taking action for sure. Absolutely. I mean, you can't be something without doing it, right? But also the start of that is like thinking that you want to be that.
Of course.
And like, and yeah, what were you going to say?
No. I was thinking of, Joel said when you know 100 people, you're kind of like an expert in that. Or isn't it like 10,000 hours makes you an expert in something?
So
like that?
10,000 hours is to like master your craft, and you can compare. You can basically speak to people in a higher level.
Yeah.
Because you've done that. They say if you know more about the subject that you're talking about than 100 people. So that's what Tim Ferriss was saying.
Oh, okay,
you're
okay.
then an expert to those
that
100
subject.
people.
In that
So
subject.
in that subject, and so you don't have to wait till you're no more than 100,000 people to say you are a quote unquote expert in what you're doing, because you can educate 100 people.
Exactly.
So that
Yeah.
was his thing. But yeah,
Yeah,
if you put
that's so
100,
true.
yeah, 10,000 hours of hard work is what they say to get to be a pro. Yeah.
They also say to never call yourself an aspiring X thing, because then
You're limiting
you limit
yourself.
yourself.
Yeah. It's all
100%.
psychological.
Yeah.
Well, yes.
Yeah,
100%.
because if you're writing, like you don't have anything published, but if you're writing, you are a writer. If you're
Right.
drawing,
You don't tell me
you are.
twice. I took one boxing class on Monday. I'm a boxer. I'm a goddamn boxer.
I'm a boxer.
I'm hurting, but I'm a boxer. I'm a boxer in pain. Yeah.
So Nailah, for all of the earthlings out there,
I know. I was going to ask her about that. She said, I don't like the pigeonhole, or I don't even think you said pigeonhole, but put
No,
those
but-
labels. She described herself as an earthling.
Earthling,
And
yeah.
I
Yes.
want to know why
Yes.
she chose earthling so confidently.
Because I am.
So what's an earthling for those of us watching?
Me, you, and him. We are.
That person screaming in the
Yes.
background is an earthling.
Exactly. That's what we are.
these are the sounds of Medellin. By the way, if you've never lived in Colombia, you're gonna deal with noise, and if you don't like noise, you can
That is
go
so
like
true.
in some finca, maybe
Maybe
in
And you
Randolph,
still get noise.
You still get noise out there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
So
the
like if you're
roosters.
living in the city, you're probably going to get a lot of noise, but you get used to it. Like I like noise
guys are
personally.
used to it?
I like it. Like if I go to a finca or like in the campo somewhere and I don't hear noise, I'm like, what the fuck's wrong? I'm like paranoid. Where's my gun?
I'm the opposite. I
Really?
love,
Yeah.
I
You
love,
get scared.
Yeah, I'm like, this is not normal.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I like the noise. I like to hear the bums screaming outside.
He likes
like
chaos.
hear
I
the
like
bums.
I like the sirens.
But he
I
does,
like
because
the
he used to
car.
live in El Centro. And he told me,
Yeah,
when I went
that's my
down there, I'm
favorite
like,
part.
what the hell is going on in Torres de Bombona? I'm
And
like,
I'm just walking
Yeah,
around the street like,
yeah.
hey, what's
why
up?
did a crackhead
feel
just grab my
relaxed.
ass?
Yeah, crackhead, high five. Yeah, so-
Seriously, I swear on my life, I'll tell you this, I'm being 100% honest. I know he's being honest with this, because he told me, I love it here. I love the chaos. I love the noise. And I'm there going, I need to get out of here. Like right now, I'm down, I'm here for a cheap t-shirt.
And I'm out.
And I'm out. Like, I like the when the quarantine started, it was
Yeah, me
scary and
too.
stuff. But there was macaws and parrots coming, and they perch on the back there by my window, and I'd wake up at 6:37 every morning. It was the first time, and you'd hear them. You'd literally hear them in the afternoon. I'd run out here, and I'd see them flying by, and I'm like,
All
that
excited,
to me-
poking your head out the
yeah,
window.
Yeah.
looking.
That's what I like, not a bum screaming
Yeah.
down below.
yeah,
That's-
me, I was shooing them away. Get out of here with
Yeah.
that
What do you
natural
guys-
noise.
What do you guys consider yourselves? Like, are you more extroverted and him more introverted, or like, is it?
Well,
what do
I'm
you guys-
no.
I'm the
it-
extrovert. He's the introvert.
Yeah,
Oh.
naturally I'm more introverted.
Right.
But like for example, you get a couple drinks in me, then I become like, Don Juan.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you, man.
So let me just put it out there, people, and it's not just quickly, because we're gonna get to some really
But
interesting
I'm very
topics really
social.
quick.
Like he.
think-
Andrew and I are not a couple, okay? In case anybody ever looks at it, the way she just said that, we're not a couple.
Damn,
We
bro.
might make out every now and then, but it's just
my
when
heart.
we're
You just
lonely
broke
and
my
cold.
heart.
Like
What are you talking?
no, she's like, so who's the introvert and who's the extrovert? I'm like, yo, come on, like say it differently. Like, yeah. Anyways, but so just in
No,
case
but, like,
anybody's looking, and
I wasn't taking it that way.
Huh?
I wasn't.
I was taking it that way. The way she's like, so who's the top? Okay, no, I can't even go. Who's the top? Who's the bottom?
Who's
I'm
the
like,
catcher?
Who's
Who's the
the bottom? I'm like, no, wait.
And why am I the third wheel?
Yeah.
Felipe
And then
is
there's
always-
that guy
Oh my
that's trying to get
God.
somebody in
He's
here.
just
Yeah,
trying to catch.
Who are you after, man?
Copperfield.
Speak the real shit. Yeah, David. We call him David. David Copperfield.
Yeah.
The introvert or the extrovert?
He's just a vert.
Yeah.
This guy.
He's just an earthling.
Yeah,
just
he's
an earthling.
He's
He
an
would
earthling.
literally stay in his room and have like a Rappi drone drop off the food and a change of clothes every day. Seriously, that's his person.
Yeah, but Joel also, even though you're extroverted, you could stay home all day, every day. During the quarantine, he's thrived. What about you, Nailah? Are you introverted, extroverted?
Have you guys heard of the term called ambivert?
What's an ambivert?
It's like
You see, she's going to teach me some stuff. Ambivert.
ambivert.
Okay, good.
It's like you're in between. And you're in between.
maybe-
Ambos.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a herbivore. What is it?
A herbivore?
No,
Ambivert.
Ambivert.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I used to like think I was an introvert.
Yeah.
Because I can have like my moments, but I can also have my moments of being extroverted. Like
Okay.
if it depends, like who I'm around, who the
Yeah.
person, what the topic is,
I see.
and stuff like that. So the
vibe.
I oscillate between the two. So
Okay.
I don't know if you guys.
Yeah, wait, I'm just saying,
I heard that.
Naila's out here dropping vocabulary, talking about
Ambivert.
Fibonacci
Yeah.
sequences,
No, but I think-
and
Yeah,
I
I think-
oscillate like a
You
fan.
already
I'm
know.
like, wait, what's up? You already know Atlanta's got a good schooling
Atlanta.
system.
Maybe I am an ambivert.
You're an oscillator.
An oscillator.
Flop around between
I
different
like
things.
that.
Oscillator.
Awesomator. But wait, here's the thing. She said, my crazy life back in Atlanta.
In Atlanta.
And then
Right.
she skirted the issue.
But no,
But-
I told you guys a little bit.
What is it? I didn't hear anything that was crazy. What is crazy? What was crazy about your life back home?
Well,
I ate a catfish.
yes.
Go ahead.
I ate a catfish and I said I was vegan.
Yeah.
Fuck.
What is the crazy life? Tell us about the crazy life.
Well, it's just crazy in the sense that to me, like, just being alive is crazy and trying to find your purpose and your place to fit in the world. And I was kind of, I had to live by myself for a long time. So I kind of was like guiding myself through this life. Like, oh, what do I want to do? What should I do? And all the shoulds. And so then I decided that I should go to LA. And I just booked a trip
For acting or music?
for music.
Okay.
And I like acting as well, but I was more focused on the music and also just soul searching. Like I just wanted to see what was out there. And then, man, I was like staying in hostels and just trying to see like, what is the point of this? What is the point of being alive? Why am I here? And then after that, I was just roaming the streets of LA and Santa Monica alone.
Is that where people go to search for their soul? LA?
I think so. Why? This is something I want to like.
That's where you lose your soul.
That's where
Yes.
you lose your
That's where you're.
Yes.
I'm from
Yes.
LA. I know that's where you lose
I
your
was going
soul.
to ask you where that error code was from. I thought it was from.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you do. Because you think that, but that's what society puts in your head. And so I fell into that trap, like I was like, oh, I'm going to go to LA. And like, oh, I'm going to just, and
Well, yeah, I guess you can find whatever I guess you could find anything
Not
that
your
you're
soul.
looking for. Well, no, you could find what you're looking for in LA. It's like if you're looking, literally, if you're looking for country music, you'll find it in LA. If you're looking
Country
for
music?
anything, because there's so much.
Yeah, you can find anything
There's
in
so
LA.
much
That's true.
diversity.
Yeah, that's
If
very
you
true.
want tacos, you got
oh,
tacos.
vegan food
If
is
you want
everywhere.
vegan food, it's
This
amazing.
is exactly what they say about Girardota.
Yes.
Yeah, so
You can find anything you're
anything.
looking for.
So for all of the earthlings out there that
Yeah.
want to come to Colombia, let's say, and maybe they don't know, what are the differences? Like for you in particular, like when you got here 3 years ago, what was something that was like very different to you that just stuck out? Can you think of anything? Maybe.
Yes, I can.
What is it?
People.
Okay.
And how people here communicate and they're not afraid of this, like in the States we're like this, like oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I just got so close to you, sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
And that is a calor humano, how they say, here. And over there we don't have that, where it's like everyone's about their business. And that taught me, I was very like to myself when I got here, and people would be like, oh my God, es antisocial. She doesn't talk, she's pretentious. But it wasn't because of that. It's just that I was so used to being like
Right.
that. So if you want connection in all levels, I say come. Just go, to a place like this. And I would
Right.
say Colombia. Colombia is beautiful, and it has everything that you could ever possibly need. I mean,
But I think
Let's
it's,
get
it's,
real.
it's very interesting what you say, because, and that's not necessarily a negative thing. I think it's great because that sort of happened to me in Mexico the same way, where people all my Mexican friends at the time, they're like, dude, you're like stressed out. And then, a year later or a little less, I was like the total hippie. I was guiding tours in the jungle and stuff, and a friend visited me, and they're
That's
like,
awesome.
holy shit. They're like, Joel, we used to think that you're stressed. These guys are fucking really stressed out. And it's good when somebody sort of like calls you on it and points, because when you're at home, people may never have thought that they may think that, hey, Nailah's like the source of the party. She's just the life. She's just like whatever. And then you come into a different society where everyone just seems so naturally sort of calm and friendly and inviting. And then you are the person that's the stressed out, the antisocial
yes,
person.
you become that. Here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And they look at you crazy.
It helps, but it helps. I think it helps because they point it out, and you're like, you literally, if you're a conscious person at all, you're gonna sit back that night because everybody's accustomed to saying that you're the social one, and you're like, holy shit, everybody thinks I'm stressed out.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some truth to
Maybe
that.
I am stressed
so let
out.
me think about that. You begin that
Exactly.
changing pattern, which I think
Exactly.
is
What about you guys? What did you
Yeah,
guys?
I was going to ask Joel the same question. Joel, do you remember, 9 years ago when you first got here, a glaring culture
beautiful
clash?
women
Okay.
all over. Honestly, I'll be a guy. I'll be a really
That is so true.
guy about this. Like, I could not believe, like, I remember, and people like, oh yeah, people just think the Paisa women, you know what, fuck you and
No,
your
it's
nonsense. I'm
facts.
talking about the real deal. You go to a McDonald's drive-through here, and the woman that answers, I don't know, I'm heterosexual, so I don't know if it's the same for women, but the woman that answers like the drive-through window, and you're like, holy shit.
Whoa, where'd you come from?
Wait, why are you in McDonald's giving me some fries? Like, that is not going to happen in Canada. Firstly,
no.
they're going to be somehow maintained or trust me, it's not that. They're either, if they're that pretty, they're a model, they're whatever. Here, regardless of, I'm talking about all shapes, sizes, color, whatever. I'm just like, there's so many like beautiful women, right? Like, for example, and I'll put it out there so I can get some goddamn hate. Like, me personally, my preference is not very like big women. That's not my preference. However,
Yeah, some people like it.
Exactly. However, I will admit that in Medellin, and I'm talking about in Colombia, in Medellin, again, I said all shapes, sizes, colors, whatever. The faces to me were like, how are you so damn beautiful? And I could appreciate that. And that was actually one of the first things that stuck out. I'm not talking about the city. I'm talking about something that, and they were down to earth people. We hear this all the time, particularly from guys. A girl in Atlanta, and this person was from Atlanta, and they were telling me about this, was it today or yesterday? They're like, a girl could be like, not that great looking, and then in Atlanta, there's enough people to put her up here, and I think that's good that she has that self-esteem, which I think is really, really good. But she'll look down on a guy, and it's like a whole game to just speak to a person, and I found it like here, like I'm like, wow, I'm speaking to beautiful people every day. And that was an experience to me that I thought was like absolutely cool and great. Like, it's like I'm speaking to you. It's not like, hey, I want to take you home or I'm just going to ask you out. But you're a beautiful person and we're just interacting like normally. I don't know how it was for you in LA, but.
Yeah. And I agree with you. That was a glaring difference. Even though in LA, you see a lot of beautiful people all the time.
Yeah.
And Southern California is just, you go to the beach and it's crazy.
Yeah.
And I did this test many years living in the United States. I lived in Southern California for 29 years, obviously until my adulthood. And I worked at jobs where I had to wake up at 5 in the morning to get to the job at 6, call center jobs, when you're 19, to basically selling shit on the street. And I did this test and I would see how many beautiful women I would see before 10 a.m. Usually you would never see a beautiful woman wake up before 10 out in the street in LA. Ever. And I worked at Target, I worked at Walmart, I've worked at movie theaters, and if it's before 10 o'clock, it's very rare that you'll see a beautiful woman out. It was so weird to me, and because those are the things that, as a straight male, that you do. I don't know, it's just kind of a weird guy.
That's what men do.
Yeah, that's what guys do. I'm like, you're driving down the freeway. You're looking,
Science experiment.
You'll
Andrew
never
doesn't even like science and math.
Yeah, I don't even know how to count.
Yeah.
But I never saw it. And here, it's the opposite. You get on the metro at 6 a.m. in the morning, and you're going to see not only beautiful women, but young guys, young girls, young guys going to work, going to a regular job, like you were saying, like even if it's not a high-paying job, they're living a regular life. So it's a lot different. But my big difference to add to yours was also the friendliness. Like I remember the first apartment that I lived in here, getting on the elevator and people saying hi and bye every time they'd get off.
Definitely.
And to me, that was weird. It was something
Very
that I
weird.
had to adjust to because I was like, wait, why is this person saying hi to me? I don't even know him.
You gonna rob me? Why are you saying hi?
No, it's
Buenos
what do you
dias.
want?
I'll hide my shit.
Yeah, but no, I didn't take it that way.
yeah.
I took it as reflection. I was like, and then I took every opportunity to say hello to everybody.
Yeah.
Like, hola, ¿cómo estás? Like, to the point where they're like, okay, stop.
Chill.
Yeah, I can attest to that in the sense that I haven't lived obviously in the United States, but my best friend did move from here to there, and it's a very common complaint, sort of the opposite of what you guys are saying. And funny enough, he used to live in Atlanta. He's now going to Tacoma.
Yeah.
But he was like, motherfucking people here are so cold.
Oh yeah.
And uptight.
So cold. And it's like, man, you have no idea how much I miss people just being like friendly, like
Yeah, especially in Medellin.
I got an example about that. That's very. I'm gonna go. I like extremes to prove like points on this. Like, regardless of what you like, your musical preference, if you dance, you don't dance, none of that's important. But if you go outside of COVID, to a party, for example, in Medellin or anywhere in Colombia, I mean, you have to have a little bit of personality, but you walk up to a woman here in a party, you say, let's dance. Let's say she's beautiful.
You don't even have to say it, by the way.
But yeah, you can go like that. And you walk up, you dance with her, and I'm talking about pretty seductive, grinding, whatever the hell you're doing. The song's done, and she walks away.
She'll never even.
That was
okay, you're good.
it. That was it. It was a dance.
Wait, is
it
it
was
supposed
a
to be
dance.
something else?
No, wait, but hold on. It's not that it's supposed to be, but in at least in Canada, you finally muster up enough courage to go over there, and she comes over here. It's like and you dance. It's like it's not just a dance. It's like you go through this whole production
You have
to dance, right? And in her head, she's sizing you up, you're sizing her up, you're trying to, like, you're courting almost just to dance. Here, you can dance with a beautiful person, and they are not interested in you whatsoever beyond that, which I think is actually really cool. And you're done, and you're like, holy shit. Like, if that makes you feel great, I danced with the most beautiful girl and that was it.
Yeah.
And that doesn't exist. That does not exist in Toronto. I will say that.
Yeah,
It does
that's
not
the same
exist.
thing in the U.S. Well, at least
Yeah.
in California. So if you're coming down to Colombia, just be ready for people to be very friendly,
warm. Yeah.
to be beautiful, to accept, to dance with you, but never talk to you ever again.
Yes, that's
That's
the
what you're
moral of the
into.
story. End of podcast. Let's go.
What are some of the negative you guys have, like the differences between Colombia and Canada, Colombia and the United States? Some of the negative aspects that you're like, fuck, man, why does this have to be this way here? Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, you go do your thing, girl.
Oh,
Tell me.
okay. Oh, me. Okay.
Yeah, you go.
So, honestly, listen. This is the thing.
Honestly, listen to me.
It's the
Herbal
thing.
cigarettes.
Hey, I was gonna get the vibe
Yeah.
just rolling.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the thing. Like,
Yeah.
I like customer service and how fast the lines work in the United States. So that's the
God.
number one.
Why you
thing.
gotta hit him where it hurts? All right, go on.
It's the truth, man. Them
Yeah.
cashiers are slow, and I'm just like, damn. I was a cashier once, and I remember they had
yeah,
to tell
me
me, hurry up. You see, there's a line. There can't be a line.
There can't be more than 3 people
Exactly.
in the line. There can't be more than 3 people in line. Oh, and they have those signs here, by the way.
And they said
have
they'll
the
give you
signs.
free something.
They'll
or
give
whatever.
you something
They
free, or they'll open up another line if they got more than 3. But
Yeah.
I've
If
been-
you
They
ever
won't.
see that, just complain. Just say that, and we'll open up a next one, and you like wait 45 minutes for
More.
the next.
But it's taught me patience. So
Yeah.
now I'm literally at the line, and I'm like, I got this.
You plan your day
I
around
got
going
this.
shopping.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be here for like 2 hours.
It's gonna be good. It's
Yeah.
gonna be good. Yeah. But I agree. I hated that, and sometimes it irks me when I'm like in a hurry.
Exactly.
If I gotta go to the, I fucking hate going to the bank.
Yeah,
Privilege,
The
man.
bank is the worst.
Let me
Yeah.
tell you something about my man. He
But-
hates the bank.
But at the same time,
But you
at
love the bank.
But at the same time, I love the bank
Yeah.
because I'm allowed to go to the bank. And whenever I go to the bank, it's for something positive.
Yeah.
Like usually it's something good that
That's
I'm
a
gonna
great
go
thought.
do.
That's definitely a great
I
thought.
feel like quote unquote blessed.
Blessed,
that,
yeah.
God damn, I'm going to the bank. I'm gonna spend 2 hours here, so I'll bring
Yeah.
my little Game Boy and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
And
That's not a little Game Boy. I was looking at the size of that. Why you have a television
A big
set?
boy.
That's bigger than the,
The big
TV I grew
boy.
up with. What the hell you got in your hand, bro?
For real.
What the hell is that? Yeah.
Yo,
For
you
real,
don't
right? Look
understand.
at that thing. That's your.
When
That's
I
your
was
cell
a
phone?
kid, I always thought, man, when I grow up, I'm never gonna make my bed, and I'm gonna buy all the shit that I wanted to, and now I'm kind of doing it, you know, like
Yeah.
Well, I just bought a basketball court. Joel
Not
filmed
a
me.
court. Yeah,
Yeah.
the net.
I didn't buy a net.
The setup, not
He
the
bought the
court.
court.
You didn't buy the whole court.
He bought the whole
No,
court.
It's a hoop. I bought a
Okay,
hoop.
you bought
the
a hoop.
hoop.
I bought
yeah.
a hoop. I put it in the driveway. I feel like I'm 12 years old again.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
That's what it's
true
about.
story. This has nothing to do with what we were talking about, but yeah, just we're sitting there in the living room the other day, and Andrew is flipping between sports channels. This is what you call real first world problems. So he's switching between like baseball and then basketball's back, and he's like, fuck, and then there's hockey. He's like, this is what, and by the way, we're looking at a 65-inch screen TV. And he goes, I need 2 more of these. I'm like, why do you need 2 more? He's like, to box
TVs?
himself in. Yeah.
Oh
so
my
you can
God.
watch
Watch the
so
Laker
you
game.
can
Like
watch,
in a sports bar?
The Dodger game.
Yeah.
there, That's what I'm talking about. Like
First
a
of-
sports
yeah,
bar.
like a sports
So
bar.
I need like the Laker game there. By the way, the Lakers are playing right now. Anybody know the score? Just hit me
You
up.
are spoiled.
I'm spoiled.
You are a little spoiled
I
brat.
am a spoiled brat only because I could spoil myself, and I've never been able to.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Then
do
yeah.
it. I say
Do it. If you can do it, do
You
it.
got to treat yourself, girl.
100%.
Treat yourself. Don't cheat yourself.
Snap.
That's what's that.
So let's bring this back on the debate. I'm gonna come back because you said your crazy life in Atlanta. So when you mean crazy, you don't mean
I
that
just
you
meant
were
crazy. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Yeah, go.
I
I'm
think
just
I know what she meant.
She meant crazy like it was a crazy routine. It was like like you didn't feel like you were waking up and knowing yourself and doing things that you wanted. You were on the grind. You mean like the life of being on the grind and just
Lost.
lost. Okay.
That's
okay.
the
Because
word.
I thought
I
you
was
were gonna
lost.
say some different stuff.
No, I wasn't like doing, I don't know what
Stuff.
you're thinking of.
Smoking marijuana.
Mr.
Cigarettes?
Joel.
Smoking marijuana.
I always smoke the marijuana. I always smoke, and that is not crazy. Let's just,
Okay.
that's normal.
You
That's
get
a
locked
plant.
up for that shit in Atlanta.
Hell yeah, you do.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, man, oh my God.
Tell us about that. That's what we were trying to.
Oh my
What
God.
happened?
Yes.
What happened?
Oh no, those things have happened when I
Okay.
was very underage and I had to call friends to pretend to be my dad so I wouldn't go to jail. But basically, something happened here. I bought a whole bunch of weed,
Uh-huh.
a whole bunch. And I was chilling under some palm trees with my friends. And
In
it was
Girardota?
late. Yeah,
Okay.
near Girardota. And some fucking cops just decided to pop up and fuck up the whole night. And they checked my bag, and I had about this much, and they took all of it.
Were you at a duffel?
Yes.
Okay.
And they took all of it.
Suitcase.
But at least they didn't take me. And
Yeah.
and I was, honestly, I was shaking because in the States, I would have gone.
Yeah,
I
it's a
would
long
have
time.
gone to jail.
Distribution,
Yeah, for sure. And I was so scared. And like, to me, it's just wild that a plant is illegal, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's wild that here in Colombia you can have basically a pound of marijuana and
yes, and you won't go to jail.
And you won't go to jail
I'm
because
so glad.
it's been decriminalized to a point where I think you could have up to 20 or 22 grams of weed and 20 grams of weed. And as long as it's not individually packaged like you're distributing, then you're free to go. They may take it, and as a matter of fact, if it's over, maybe it was over 20 grams, and they just took it, and the cops probably go sell it or something.
Or
Yeah.
smoke it.
Or smoke it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have.
They'd be the neighborhood hero.
It was organic, man. It was like some of the best, and
Yeah.
they took all of it. They probably smoked it. I'm sure they did.
You imagine being like a minimum wage earning police officer and you
And
roll in
rolling
with
up on
a
a
duffel
pound?
bag or a suitcase, a
It was,
carry-on
it was
luggage.
it was like a huge like
like a
zip
pound,
up. Yeah,
a
like
pound,
it was
like
it was
a
a
kilo.
lot. But
Yeah.
whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
So you're pro weed.
So that's another
You guys
pro.
are too, right?
I'm pro weed. I'm pro weed.
I'm pro all drugs every day, all day.
Oh,
So the question or the point I think is that the pro is that Colombia's awesome because the cops don't give a shit, but then Colombia sucks also because the police don't give a shit,
yeah.
right?
Exactly.
So it's like they're there to protect you, but they're
But they
not.
don't.
So
Yep.
right. So it's kind of like it's a love-hate relationship. What is your experience here in Colombia? What has it been like being female, living your daily life?
Curly-haired female.
What's that
Turns that
supposed
out.
to mean?
Yep. Go ahead. It's
Does that make it
different.
any different?
It's a different reality for
Maybe, I
curly-haired
don't know.
women. Trust me, I have them on Instagram.
I'm not
I
a
know
curly-haired
things.
female, so I don't know. But
Well-
what has been your experience?
Well, there's a lot of harassment, honestly. Like
Harassment, how so?
like in the way that, well, for girls, I don't know, for me, like when a guy is just what's the word?
Intenso?
Yeah, like you can it's okay if a guy looks, right? Like, obviously, that's why we have eyes. But
Okay.
when he's like literally undressing you and he just does not take his eyes off, like especially older men seem to do this, like they're just like this. And you can like basically feel them breathing hard.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dude, chill. Like I literally sometimes go out covered
Yeah.
and I still get that, and that's been my experience.
Wow.
And
Is
that's been my
different?
experience with guys.
Is
but
that
I
different
don't know.
than in the U.S.?
No.
In
No,
the
it's
U.S.
the
the same thing?
But it's not as like obvious, you know. I think guys are more discreet over there. Guys here don't really, well, older men, especially in the country, I guess that's how it is too.
Right.
But that's the way it was
And they
in
see
there,
someone
man.
different. They see like, and I know I don't look like I'm from here too. So like,
Yeah.
they're curious too. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
oh, where's she from?
Yeah.
So
Oh, I see.
I don't know if that's what you were referring
No,
No,
to.
yeah,
yeah,
that's-
yeah, that is actually, it's parallel to some other guests that we've had that are not from here. They've had that similar experience as females, that you get the gawking, the perverted sounds and looks. Yeah, so
Like we like that. Like, we like when guys acknowledge us, right? Like who doesn't like attention? Let's
Right,
just be
yeah.
honest, okay? But when it becomes overwhelming, that's when it's like, okay, like I'm starting to feel, especially as women, like we're always kind of like in this, even if we don't realize it, we're always in fear.
Yep.
Because you know, we walk alone at night, we're like, oh my gosh, I'm alone. Like, who is this guy? I don't. And so when we see a guy too intense like that or whatever, we kind of like, okay, I'm starting to get scared,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it makes you feel uncomfortable.
yeah, and we had a former guest that brought it kind of into the context for guys. It's like, imagine if like a bunch of unattractive women that were older were looking at you like a piece of meat,
Like prey.
and gawking at you.
Isn't that your Tinder experience though?
That's been my Colombian
He likes
Cupid
that?
Tinder.
No, it's not that he likes it.
No.
It just happens
It
to be.
just happens. I'm a big hit with the 40 and olders.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm a big
the
hit.
cougars.
50 and older, it's like it's over.
Market. That's a
I'm
good
making
market.
grandbabies.
Hey, you got those sugar mamas.
Sugar mamas. I don't know. I don't know. I should probably open up that can of worms one day.
You never
and,
know.
And respond back to that ABB.
Open up the can of worms, huh?
Yeah. No, I don't know.
Yeah, you
But-
should probably not.
But I mean, bring it into perspective. Like,
Why not?
if
You never
were,
know.
Or if you were in the gym, Joel, and a bunch of older guys were looking at you, gawking at
This
you.
happened.
And it happens here a lot in Colombia. Well, at least we go to the gay gym. No, I'm just kidding. We go to SmartFit.
we together and we hold hands as we enter the door.
Is that a
Oh, we go to SmartFit, and there are guys in there that'll
Stand
look,
big.
and I got. to
No,
tell
they
you,
don't look. They're hardcore.
Yeah, they're hardcore.
Yeah?
They're hardcore.
They're
How do you guys
hardcore.
feel when that happens?
Like when you're
I
doing.
flex up. I flex.
No,
I
You
go.
like
when
it?
I
You
do a
like
little side. You know, like that's, you know when you angle it out like this. The
When you're
bicep
doing
pops.
like when you're doing curls,
Oh,
like
yeah.
and looking in the mirror, and the guy literally stands in front of you and starts like squatting, like with nothing, just like free squat.
No
So you're
way.
like, wait, what? With his shorts up like here, and for some reason, straight and gay guys
Uh-huh.
here like to pull up their shorts very high. I think it's the soccer culture that teaches you that to show off the legs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll be wearing regular shorts, but they'll curl them up to see like the full.
You
quad.
remember you know when they do the
The
tuck
whole
into
thigh.
the underwear?
Yeah, they
do
tuck-
the tuck.
tuck into the
They
underwear.
Oh
tuck it
yeah,
so it
yeah,
stays,
yeah. I've seen that.
That's
I
like
like
kind of uncomfortable. So it's kind of the same thing. Like
Yeah.
if you think if you're a girl out there and you're walking down the street and some fat old man is looking at you and you're like, man,
You
that's
got
really
something stuck in your
uncomfortable.
teeth? You got
Yeah,
chicharron in- okay.
yeah, that's very uncomfortable. And just the way it is when we're at the gym. But then one day I went to the gym and no one looked at me and I felt like, God damn,
Like, where are all my
Oh,
boys?
yeah.
what happened? Where
What
Where are my
happened?
boys?
where's
Where
my
are the squatting boys at?
Yeah, where was?
Where's the guy with the leggings?
Yeah.
What the hell is this? All these women, none of them looking at me. Where are my boys? No, but back to this for a second because that's that's on sort of like sexual, sort of animalistic, you know, thing that I think happens all around the world. You're right. Some people hide. You know, we've got the most people will, you know, put all sorts of comments, but you know, their closet. What's the word I'm looking
Freaks?
for? Not freaks, but they will talk like whatever with their boys, and then in public, you know, they'll give the side eye, but you know exactly, you know what I mean. Like, so here's a little more overt, but and that's on again on the sexual side, and of course it's related. But how do you feel in terms of call it equality? Because there's nowhere in the world where women are equal to men. I don't think so. Maybe on some little island, maybe Gulliver's Island,
Yeah.
which is not a real place, I don't think. But
Yeah, there's
but
not.
There's not, but it isn't anywhere as far as I'm concerned. But how do you feel in comparison to Hotlanta? How do you feel as a woman in comparison to the male counterparts?
Well, I'm gonna tell you my experience in Atlanta. And when I was working over there, I used to work at BMW.
Okay.
And I had my best friend helped me get in there. He was a guy, and when I got the job, I was working fine, whatever. I was getting paid $10 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And then I asked him, how much are you getting paid? He was getting paid 11, and we were doing the same thing. Okay, like literally the same fucking thing. And I was just like, wow. I used to be a skeptic. I thought that wasn't real, and I was like, no, there's no way. There's no way. Like that cannot happen. If you're doing the same job, there's no way. But it's real. And like, how do I feel about it? Does it make me feel good? No, it doesn't make me feel good at all. But at the end of the day, like that's the reality that we're living in because we're in this patriarchal society, and if it's favoring men. But I think we shouldn't get too caught up. Like, yes, we should aim for change, but we should focus more on what we want and not on what we don't want. So I'm not going to focus on like, oh, I'm not equal, I'm not this, I'm not that. I'm just going to focus on what I want to be and strive for that. And we're heading there though. Like I really feel like we are. I feel like society is waking up, and more men are becoming conscious as well, and they know that if we're unique. Men and women we should get equal rights and jobs and stuff like that. But as human beings, no one's equal. We're all unique.
Yeah.
We're all unique, and we do different things. That's how I see it. I don't know how you guys see it. What do you guys think?
What I meant is in the way in which because we all serve. I mean, we can get deep into this conversation biologically. What a woman can do, a man cannot do, and vice versa. As far as I'm concerned, there's tons of men out there that will argue that they can raise a baby from the time it's 1 minute old onwards and do a great job. Good for you. I'm going to take my risk and say that a woman will do it better than you. I'm going to put my head on the chopping block. I mean, if she's a good person, obviously.
Yeah.
Right? But what I meant is, do you feel here, I'm guessing that the answer is no. You never feel like you're treated differently or less
than men? No.
Okay.
I don't feel that way. That's not my reality. That's not my experience.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just, I don't know what other women have felt like. Maybe, and also, I wasn't born here, so I don't know if that plays a huge part in that as well, that I wasn't born here. But when I was in America, I did, though. So.
Okay.
You did feel that?
Yeah, a little bit.
Well,
Yeah, for sure.
You lived there a lot longer.
Yeah,
You've
exactly.
Only been here 3 years. So
exactly.
but I
haven't felt that here.
Okay.
I think guys here know how to spit a lot of game.
Guys know how to spit a lot of game.
They know how
in
to speak a
Colombia.
lot. They really do, man.
It's
They
called
get
La Labia. We learned about that in a previous podcast.
Yeah.
Guys basically, I don't know if it's a Colombian thing, but it's definitely a Paisa thing.
Yeah, it is.
To talk your way into a deal, to talk your way out of something. Paisas are very well known for their haggling.
Their tongue.
And their
Gift of the gab.
Gift of the gab. That's right. So here, if you're a woman coming to Colombia and you meet a guy and he's attractive, or you're attracted to him, or whatever it is, he's gonna bend over backwards to tell you everything and anything.
Everything you want to hear.
Yeah.
And
everything.
vice versa too.
Poets.
Yes.
Vice versa too.
Yes.
Like the women are very good. For a guy, it's not usual coming from the United States.
Really? Ooh, I want to hear about that.
Yeah, coming from the United
What's
States,
different?
when you get on like Tinder, or let's say you get on, or you meet someone, let's say on social media, or you meet someone out at a bar or at a disco, you get their number, and then you message them the next day. Many times, they will message you and say, "Hola, bebé." ¿Qué más,
girls
mi
say
cielo?
that?
Hola, amor.
Yeah.
Like, that's very normal.
Wow.
And
That's crazy.
when, as a guy coming from...
Can you translate that for those that are...
Yeah, like, hola, bebé is like, hey, baby, or hola, amor.
Baby is like date 4 in the U.S., no?
Yeah.
Baby is like, once you get married...
You don't get a
You
baby.
you might get you have a baby.
Yeah, exactly. Bae. Yeah, they
Bae.
reduced it to half. No,
Bae.
this is my bae.
Bae
Yeah,
bae
my
is safe.
bae.
It's
We
safe.
can't say
It's safe,
baby.
so,
We
yeah,
have to
yeah.
say bae.
Baby's a lot of commitment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
baby
it's
is
a lot.
like a huge commitment.
Yeah.
You got
Trying
it's
to get a
2
ring on it,
syllables.
or what you...
Right?
Yeah.
And then with a Y?
So here it was different when I heard that for the first time. I'm like, what is this girl's angle? Or te quiero. Like you've been dating a girl for a couple times, for a couple days or maybe a couple weeks, and then right away she says te quiero, and you're like, wait.
And then they drop the mucho at the end.
Mean,
Te quiero mucho.
Oh, that's-
does that mean I love you? Like,
Yeah,
I don't
that's
even tell my mom that. I should tell my mom. I
You
love your mom.
should. You should. Tell your mom.
But I mean, it is kind of a cultural difference.
That is so true. Oh my gosh, that is so true. People over there are more, like I said, we're more reserved over there. Like even with words, here everything's more open and like wear your heart on your sleeve type of thing. But that's beautiful.
Yeah, and to prove my point, like for example, the lady at the corner store, she calls me mi amor.
Oh yeah,
like,
but it's like a term of
A la orden, mi
endearment.
amor, or mi cielo.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
literally.
but you
that's-
can't use the word love in the United States and Canada
Yeah.
unless have known the person for 17 years.
Yeah, but here it's like a term of endearment.
Yeah,
Like for them, it's
It's
normal.
normal. Mi
Yeah.
amor. You're a 60-year-old woman. Okay, mi amor.
Can I see you on Tinder? Yeah, swipe. Yeah.
But yeah, I guess those are the cultural differences.
Yeah.
So
Do you guys like them though?
I do like that. I do like that because I think there's pros and cons to it. It's great because people are able to feel what they to say what they feel and to be emotional. It's okay to be emotional. Kind of in the United States, it's not okay to be emotional. It's like you got to be a man. Even women don't.
You
show
gotta
your
be a
emotions.
man, women.
Yeah, you got to be
Yeah.
cold. You can't wear your heart on your sleeve type of thing because it's seen as weakness.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, here it's like when someone calls you mi amor, it's like, wait, does that you just being cool with me or do you really like me? You know what I mean? Like,
The lines get blurred.
it's like, yeah, it's blurred. That's a
I've
good-
danced. I don't mean reggaeton people.
His
so get your mind
dances.
out of the
His
fucking-
dances.
No, but I've danced. In the first year I was here, I danced with more little old ladies than I've ever danced with in my entire life. And the possible little old lady, and doesn't look like a little old lady that much, is my grandmother, is probably the only person that I would say over the age of, call it 70, that I'd ever danced with in my entire life in Canada. That's just like dancing around. You go to Santa Elena, you go to the Carnaval.
Oh yeah.
I danced with a woman, I don't even know how she's alive in Carnival last year. Remember that video, that woman?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and it's just like, and they inviting.
You got a boner. No.
Ooh, he liked it.
Wow. Woo. Okay, no, I did not. Anyways, all right, we're
liked
going to get
it.
kicked off the air. Me, you, and, oh, God.
Me, you,
Anyways,
and
but
Nailah.
no,
Oh, that's a
but,
good song, name of the song. Me, you,
Me, you, and
Nailah.
Nailah, good band.
Me, you, and Nailah, bad.
So let's skip along. Let's
By the
skip along a little bit. I got to get to some stuff here. So you left BMW in Atlanta.
Because that's when I left to LA to find myself.
You found yourself. You lost yourself further in LA.
Yes.
You
Well, actually, no. I actually it became more clear like what I did want.
Okay.
And like because sometimes when you find out what you don't want, then that automatically means that you find out what you do want. So I was like, oh, okay, this is not what I want. So what do I want? What's the opposite of this?
Okay.
You get what I'm
So
saying?
the opposite was here.
The opposite was like you need to get your shit straight, like get clear on what it is that you really want. Okay, you want to travel, you want to like experience different cultures. Okay, that's what you want. So let's go to Colombia. And then I came and yeah,
And now what is it that you do here?
activism. I do activism. Okay, when I first got here, my goal was I was getting heavy into like veganism and I saw. Have you guys seen the people like holding the laptops with the masks called anonymous for the voiceless? Because we used to post up around here a lot, also. So I decided that I really wanted to dedicate myself to speaking for animal rights. So my mom actually helped me find the group, and then as soon as I found the group, I started doing that and focusing on helping people live a more connected life to what they eat and apart from like veganism, eating plants, because vegans eat a plant-based diet, right? But that doesn't mean that just because you eat a plant-based diet, you're vegan. You catch my drift?
I understand.
Because because veganism implies more. It's like we don't go to circuses, aquariums, we don't wear leather, we don't buy makeup tested on animals, or a toothpaste that was tested on animals. So it's a lifestyle. But I can just sit here and be like, oh yeah, I eat plant-based, but I still buy all these other things. And the thing is that we are so disconnected from what we put inside of our bodies, and I teach people that, like, one-on-one, you know, you want to heal from this, you want to heal from that, you have an illness, you can heal, because most of the illnesses that humans have today is from what we put inside of our bodies, and then it manifests outside. And so yeah.
At what point did this start, by the way, this transit? Because you weren't born vegan.
Yeah.
At what point did this happen, in Atlanta, LA, or Medellin?
Well, it happened in Atlanta, and I said I was vegetarian when I was 14, but I couldn't because I lived with my parents, and they would put that piece of chicken, and I just, have you guys seen that picture of like wings? What kind of wing eater are you? And then they have some that like chew it all to the bone and leave nothing. Yeah, I was the one that left everything. Like I went like, and then just left it there. But we're conditioned to like these things.
Of course, yeah.
You know, like we're conditioned to like everything that we like. And then I was, like in my teens, like, and then I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go vegetarian. And then I started to do more investigation. And I never liked cow's milk. It tasted like shit to me. I could only drink it with chocolate. And so it was very easy. It was like something that was just innate to me. It was just in me. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, life is crazy because you start aligning yourself back to who you really are. You start finding yourself again, if that's your intention, you know? Because you can get lost in all of these advertisements.
Okay.
So that's how it started.
And so I'm just gonna ask Andrew about his. He's wearing a shirt that says "The future is vegan."
I love that shirt. I love that shirt. I need one
it's
like
cool.
that.
This is actually from a local place here called Enraizados. Enraizados, they have a website. They also have a Instagram. It's basically, the translation would be rooted, Enraizados. And they do vegan food. They have their own organic farm. And they also do shirts and clothes and stuff, which is cool. So support them if you are vegan
Yes.
or vegetarian.
I know we have some vegans watching. I told my vegans friends.
And Wesley Snipes was a vegan. No, not. He was Blade too. They drank blood. Okay, never mind. So Wesley Snipes is not.
I
vegan.
love that movie.
I love that movie
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Oh my god, I love Blade too. So you said activism, and here, and again, the first thing you said is activism.
Yeah.
So you make a living from activism here?
Oh no, that's not how I make a living. But we're not here to talk about that.
We want to understand both.
Oh, okay. Well, to make a living, I'm an interpreter. So that's like a boring job to me.
You're an interpreter.
Yes.
That's
For
cool.
doctors. Which,
It's like medical
yeah.
documents and stuff?
Yeah, but that's not like my passion, you know? Like,
Yeah.
that's just one of the things that I do out
do,
of all
okay.
the things.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's how you make a living here in.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
because
good.
it's virtual. Like, I can just
Yeah.
work from home.
Do it.
We won't ask much about that because you made it
Yeah.
very clear that you do it for the money.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Okay.
not because, oh my God, I love it so
So
much.
and activism, you say it's activism. What does that mean? What does that look like as an activist for animal rights? What do you do here?
Okay, so before this whole thing, we would go outside and post up. Well, I was in like 3 groups, and one of them was a meditation. So we would sit and meditate, like people would sit in the middle, meditate. We would take food, put it all around of us for free, and people would just come and try food. Because people they think vegan and they're like, oh my God, these people eat crazy shit. They eat weird shit. Like, and they ask you like a million times, what is this? What's in this? I mean, I even had a guy that had never even tried garbanzo beans. Dude, garbanzo beans? Have you tried
They're a
garbanzo
little
beans?
scary, aren't they? Little things, little.
Yeah.
They're awesome. I love hummus.
And
And
in the Caribbean, we call them chana. For those people that watching here right now. Okay, good. So they know that.
There's
Just
the
say
accent.
Shout out to my people. Go ahead. Yeah.
so that's what it looks like. It looks like going out and being active, and also and just being a living example of it.
Yeah.
Being what you want to see in the world. That's being an activist. To
Right.
100%.
Be the change you want to see in the world. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's Gandhi, isn't it?
Yeah.
I
Or
think it's Gandhi.
Michael Jackson.
You mean like skin color change? Or what
No.
Okay, don't
Talking
lie.
to the man in the mirror. Doesn't he say that in talking? I'm talking to
That's
the man
Mahatma
in
Gandhi.
the
I'm
mirror.
gonna go with Mahatma Gandhi. I don't think he said I want to be bad. I think he said I want to be bad. So I associate more with Michael Jackson. Anyways,
Yeah.
man.
So
Oh,
okay.
man.
So veganism, activism. So how?
Yeah, what about you guys? Wait, what are you?
Okay, good question, I guess. I am vegan and I love animals, and I always find it funny when you meet someone and you ask them, oh, so what do you like? And they're like, oh, I like this, I like that, and I love animals. Like, oh, so you don't eat them? And they're like, no,
I eat them.
I eat them. But, well, how
And
do
I
you
have
love
pets
animals?
too.
That's like saying I love my family, but I
eat
also
them.
poison them slowly every day.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly. Or I'm against, I'm against beating women, but I beat mine like 2 or 3 times a week.
I'm all for women liberation, women's equality, but they should not get paid the same.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
But I'm very headstrong, and I'm very committed to my convictions. So, like when I decided that I don't need to eat meat to be healthy, and obviously I play basketball and I do sports and I do many things. We run businesses, we run a charity, and I don't need meat to do that. Then I just decided not to, and never again. And I also think of myself as a logical person. For example, if doctors and science is telling you that on average, someone that doesn't eat meat lives 10 years longer, that's like saying, like, if you quit drinking alcohol right now, you're going to live 10 years more than other people. I'll quit today, but that's not true. So I'm not going to quit, right? I mean, I'm just a logical person. So
How long have you been vegan?
it's going on like 2 years, over a year now, a year and a half maybe. But I actually started when I was 19. I became vegan when I was 19, and it was very hard coming from a Colombian family, like you said. Mm-hmm. But my mom was very supportive. She would make like vegan lasagna. She would make soups. Like, I love soup. I literally, I was fasting for like 3 days this week, and all I drank was just vegetable broth and a little bit of salt, and it was.
That's it.
I guess it doesn't count technically as fasting,
fast?
but it was more like for my metabolism to take a step back, because I'm very bad with portion control. Like, I love to eat. And
Me too.
I'm the only vegan in the house. Joelle eats meat, so I try to cook for myself, but it's like for 10 people.
Yeah.
And then I can't leave leftovers because then I feel bad, so I gotta eat them all.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true.
That's a fact. I'll go with that.
Yeah. So I've been trying to portion control by just doing broth. I'm like, I can drink broth and it's just water.
Yeah.
So,
It's not like, but what do you eat normally?
I eat a lot of things.
Anything that's
Beyond
not
Burgers?
Beyond Meat Burgers. There's one place here called Veg Station.
Oh,
that
yeah, I
has
love
the
that
best
place.
goddamn burger.
Yeah.
And it's called the Beyond Meat Burger there.
Shout out Veg Station.
Ooh, Veg Station, you rock.
Yeah.
They got great nachos too. Hello Burgers has a good vegan burger. Dharma, which is the second best next to the Beyond Meat. I would say Dharma is the number one homegrown, homemade, where they make their own vegan patty, is Dharma. Is my favorite by far. Veg Station is third. Second is Home Burger, but the Veg Station takes the cake because they use the Beyond Meat burger in one of their burgers, and it's so good. And they do their cheese out of like cashews.
Oh, yeah. Their
It's
cheese
bomb.
is
It's
incredible.
bomb. Yeah, and it's funny because the other day, my favorite place to go have coffee is at Hija Mia. And I'm like, oh, it's almost 12. Let me order everybody lunch. So I ordered them all burgers, but I didn't tell them they were Beyond Meat burgers. And they were like, oh my God, these are so good. Where'd you get these? I want to order these. They had cheese and everything. And I'm like, oh, those are all vegan burgers. They couldn't believe it. Obviously, these are two Venezuelans that work at the coffee shop, and they're like, they couldn't believe that it was not meat because it even had that smoky flavor because the Beyond Meat uses that smoked paprika.
Yeah, it's all seasoning. It's all in the seasoning.
Yeah, you had me try the nachos. The
nachos were great,
which I'm guessing the grounded meat.
Yeah, the
It
ground
was
beef.
same-
Yeah.
Okay, so here right now, Troy Marcus says, and I'm curious about what you guys think about this. He says, veganism needs rebranding, as it is now is linked to activism and clashes, but it's about just healthy eating. You guys agree or what?
So
It's about healthy eating.
yeah, well, I think the mainstream, when someone hears veganism, they think of the diet, that it's a healthy diet. But as I think what Nailah was saying is that you have to know the distinction between the two, is that being vegan is a lifestyle, being plant-based is a diet. The plant-based diet, you can literally, it's kind of like the keto diet or the low-carb diet. And then you have the plant-based diet. So you could be plant-based, but still go and watch a bullfight. But if you're vegan, you're not going to be wearing leather. You're not going to be, it's a lifestyle. You're going to, you don't want anything to do with the I was going to say maltrato, but how do you say that? The abuse of animals,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Is that what is what he's saying?
that
Is that
was his question?
Yeah, that it needs rebranding.
I mean, I'll read it again. He says, veganism needs rebranding as it is now linked to activism and clashes. It's about just healthy eating.
So his opinion
oh,
is that it's about healthy eating.
Yeah.
Oh, so you think veganism is about healthy eating? No, I think veganism is not about healthy eating.
Not at all.
It's not.
Yeah.
Because there's so many vegans that are not healthy.
Yeah,
that are
I
fat.
wasn't. When I first went vegan, I gained a lot of weight because I did not know what I was eating. I mean, I was literally eating PB&J sandwiches, chia puddings, and like bananas. That's in cereal.
Yeah, and like I tell Joel, I've never seen a skinny gorilla. I've never seen a skinny orangutan. I've never seen a skinny elephant, right? Or a skinny hippo. They don't eat meat.
Yeah.
They
I
eat
mean,
a
look
lot
at
of
look at
fucking
an
food.
elephant or
Yeah,
a giraffe.
they need a lot of food all day. So
Yeah.
obviously, if you're eating the wrong things, and I've had vegan friends also that are overweight because they eat a lot of carbs. They eat a lot of vegan pizza, and here it's pretty
Yeah.
easy because now you have a lot of
bad
options.
carbs because you gotta eat the good ones, and that's one thing that I like. When you ask me like what do I do, like that's another thing I do is like teach, especially like girls too, that carbs are good, and people in general, because people think carbs are so bad. Yeah, if you eat pizza and burgers and Beyond Burgers all the time, you're gonna get fat. But if you eat healthy carbs like fruit, potatoes, rice, beans, all of those things, that's what I
Joel
eat.
loves rice.
Me too, man. I love rice.
Joel said, "What'd you say that?"
I could give up every other carb
Yeah.
and keep rice and I'll be good.
Why would you give up carbs?
No,
What
but
kind
like
of
if you had a
Meaning-
gun
meaning-
against
meaning
your head,
like,
yeah.
Like firstly, I'm not a bread person.
Oh, okay.
I can give up bread.
Yeah, yeah,
Pasta,
same.
I like it every now and then.
Yeah.
But rice, but I'm from the Caribbean before going to Canada as a kid. But our culture is eating rice. Everything is a rice. Dish or roti, which is the Indian side. But it's quite interesting because I'm listening. I didn't say anything in the last 10 minutes because that's my chance to listen. I think, and I thought about this because I said, well, we got two vegans and you got a meat eater. Put it like
We
meat
got
eater
two.
like that.
You guys both.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Felipe.
Yeah,
Felipe eats
Felipe
meat.
eats meat, but we're slightly different. He's a meat lover.
Oh,
I'm a
okay.
meat eater. And I agree with you because I'm thinking about what you guys are saying and internalize it because I've spoken to a lot of people, including my family last night, about what is happening with me right now. And I think what's happening with me right now is the way that things should happen. And I understand activism, right? I understand why, especially if you feel strongly about something, you need to, I would say, instead of activism, because even activism needs to be rebranded to a certain extent, education is what it should be called. And then you educate. And I see, like, there's some people on my Facebook that I don't know when they became vegan, but it's like, holy shit, okay, take it easy. You don't, like, I understand, and this is my personal opinion. I understand your perspective. I empathize, and I also understand, meaning exactly what you're saying, right? But the thing of like forcing it on somebody, and here's the thing, we were all children. We know when your mother says or your dad says, do your homework. You won't do your fucking homework. You're going to go in the room, you're going to find everything else. There needs to be a rebranding of veganism. There needs to be a rebranding of activism to education. That's my first opinion. That's just an opinion. What's happening to me right now is quite interesting enough, is that I started with this, I did like this Invisalign treatment, and my teeth got really sensitive because you're wearing this thing all day, and then when you can take them off to eat. When I took it off to eat, and I tried to eat basically any meat, I feel like my teeth are gonna fall out because they're shaky. So it made eating meat really uncomfortable for me. And so naturally, because of that, I started to not order beef, for example, because I'm like, I'm not going to chew that and have that there. Then I'll go with pork. And then I said pork. I'm like, this is crazy shit for me. And then now I'm mainly just eating fish. One, because of the way it was on my teeth. But then also now trying to go back, I'm sort of like disgusted by the concept of putting a big piece of meat in my mouth. Why I'm not disgusted by fish, I don't know yet. Maybe at that point will come. But I also understand, one, health benefits. I also am one of the people that Andrew talked about. I am a quote-unquote animal lover, like against the maltrato de animales and all of that stuff. I'm totally against that, but I
abuse,
still do eat them. So there is that duality and that irony in what I'm saying. But I'm going through a process of, and I look at it too as a meat eater. I look at those videos and stuff, and I don't close my eyes and be like, okay, wow. I do realize even today that eating meat, for example, it is an addiction as big as sugar is, right? If you're, and it's also, I think it's also to a certain extent because of thousands of years of evolution and whatever else, we have become accustomed to one, eating meat as an addiction, and two, you look at children in general, not you, with your with the chicken left with the wing on your plate. But you look at children, you look at puppies, you look at even some animals that may not necessarily eat meat. And when the scent of meat is around, it's like, "Rrr!" It's like a totally different animal altogether, even humans, right? So there's a certain bit of, I call it unnatural naturalness to eating meat, right? And again, these are just opinions. I'm sure there's somebody that can show me a totally different perspective on that. But I feel that for me now, when I look at, when I think and I internalize, when I look at the meat that's in front of me, yes, this is something getting harmed in order for me to eat. But I realize that what I have more than anything is an addiction to a taste, right? Because I talked about this. Like if you eat a soup and it's cooked with beef broth, just the broth, it's a different taste altogether. It's a familiar taste. It's something that, and then you go to something that's not that beef broth and you're like, and I have like eating, Andrew can eat this cactus. He could chop this cactus up and eat that cactus.
Yeah.
And I love it. I'll eat it. I'm like, what the fuck am I eating right now? And I love vegetables and all of that. But for me, somebody who's like, quote unquote, a picky eater, like even now, I'm eating fish.
But it's just conditioning, right?
Yeah.
Like,
It is conditioning.
Yeah.
because, like, for example, if you cook up a piece of steak for, I don't know, put it like in the forest with like orangutans and gorillas, they probably won't be like, oh, I'm going to eat that.
Well, I don't know. Have tests been done? I can't speak to that because I don't know that. I speak data. I'm all about data. I'm all about numbers. I'm all about like facts. So unless I know a fact, I can't
But you
say.
were saying that the same thing happens to, like, for example, a child, but that might not be true, because what if you raise a child to never eat, you never ate meat and the child never even knew, and they smell it, they probably do the reverse and be like, well, that smells and tastes weird to me, because it's conditioning, right?
That's so true. And my friend, she has 2 kids and they're vegan. She raised them vegan. And when we would go to the grocery store and they would pass by the meat section, they would be like, oh my God, mommy, look, the dead birds. Like
They saw it as
But they were also taught that.
They were also taught
It's
that.
impossible that a
Yeah.
vegan mom won't say,
Oh, yeah.
those are dead.
But that's the fact.
Yeah.
It is a dead bird.
That
What
is a dead
else
bird.
is it? I mean, it's an animal that was slaughtered and they packed it all up and they put it in the freezer section of the grocery store, and they use these euphemisms like meat, bacon, but it's dead flesh. Like at the end of the day, it's a dead animal.
100%.
Period.
100%. But everything is framing, right? Like, okay, and I know the argument about evolution of we are humans, we have the choice, not like animals who go and rip another animal apart. We have a choice of what we have to eat and all of that. But if it is training, and I'm bringing it back to the point about education.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that 100%. It's so true. And go ahead, and I'll
No,
let you
the
finish.
only reason I'm saying that is because I think the problem and why the rebranding, great word, needs to happen is that it's not like you're eating a dead bird. That's not going to work. I promise you, vegans,
Yeah,
it's not going to work.
Yeah, it's not.
It is not going to work.
Yeah.
Right? Showing the fucking horrid videos all the time, it's not going to work, because trust me, they're on Facebook, Instagram, and stuff all day. If they worked, a lot of people would be converting or changing their way of thinking and everything because of
But
that.
I think it has rebranded a little bit, and I noticed a lot of shifts in people's diets after that Netflix show called, the movie called
The
Game
Game
Changers.
Changers.
And that kind of rebranded it, because now you're seeing professional athletes, doctors, scientists telling you that meat is not only necessary, but it can also be the root cause to many of your ailments.
It's not necessary, okay.
That it's not necessary to be a weightlifter. It's not necessary if you are a professional basketball player, a football player, where we've been trained through media
To believe that.
to believe that the big strong man eats a hunk of meat, and that's how he becomes strong, or that's how he gets protein.
Yeah, and then you have to be if you don't eat meat, you're not a man.
There's
Because-
that too. There's that image too.
Yeah, it's like if you don't eat meat, you're not a man or whatever. But
Until you meet the vegan UFC boxer that beat the shit out of you, then you're like, okay, yeah.
the vegan
And
weightlifter.
I agree with what you said, Joel, about the education. Educating is the best way, hands down. Like telling people, informing people, not just being like, you're this and that and that. I used to do that. I'm guilty of that because when you first dive deep into the horrible things that happen, how do you not want to do that? It's like with what's happening with the police brutality in the United States. How do you not show the videos?
Yeah.
You have to. That's the only way people can become conscious of what's
Conscious of it,
happening. If you don't show those horrific things, people are going to think everything's okay.
Right.
And sometimes people have to make that connection, and they have to see. I had to see that, and because one day my friend, when I was very young, she showed me a video of a slaughterhouse, and she was like, "Oh, that only happens in KFC." So what did I do? I stopped going to KFC, but I still went to McDonald's.
Yeah.
And it's the same. It's the same.
It's a chicken
Exactly.
worse than that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like people don't like to see the police brutality videos either, and I'm like, well,
It's the
what
reality.
are you gonna do?
Yeah.
It's the fucking reality. It's what's happening in this damn world, and if you don't want to watch it, well, then you're literally contributing to it by putting your blindfolds on.
So here's
ignoring
I know
it.
you said you agreed, but here's the point to that. I agree with that because I stand like you look at I just changed it like 2 days ago because I wanted to put something else, but I'm talking about my Facebook cover and stuff. I agree with that. We can show videos of police brutality and people will close their eyes or people will come up with why that was justified, why it's justified to eat meat, why everything. So that's where once again it comes down to education. You know what like is the best strategy? You know what's education? Buying people those burgers. That will do way more than posting a horrific image with "fuck this, it's so bad." And I agree with that. "Fuck this, it's so bad." But you buy somebody a Beyond Meat burger and be like, "Man, I love that Beyond Meat." Or you shock them after. That'll make people think. You have to make people think beyond just shock and awe. And that's my only point to that. And I think what is happening with me right now, people are like, "Are you going to go vegan?" I'm like, yo, slow your fucking roll a second. I don't know if I'm going to go vegan. And if I did go vegan, then I will embrace it naturally. But I think like for most people, you have to go there with feeling, with opening your mind and your body to what you're putting in and think about it logically. And I think bit by bit it begins to make what makes sense, whether it's from an emotional perspective or a logical perspective.
Yeah, and like for me, it was more of a feeling. Like I felt it in my body. Like when I saw that, it didn't feel good. So I was like, oh, it doesn't feel good. So I'm staying away from it. And yeah, the logical part, like climate change and all that. But it's important that we also realize that veganism, the main cause of veganism is for animals and respecting their life. And veganism isn't perfect. Like a lot of people think that we think that our diet it's the more ethical diet and it's just better than everyone else's. It's not, I mean, I go outside, and by me going outside and living and breathing, I'm already causing harm.
Of course, yeah.
So it's about reduction. What can we do to reduce the harm that we cause on this planet and to other beings and be more aware of it? That's it. And the rebranding, I feel like it should be more towards, like, veganism is not just a diet, it's a lifestyle, because people do think it's just healthy. Like, oh, I'm vegan because I eat plants.
Definitely not healthy.
And you sound like a very aware person. Like you're aware of these things, and that's awesome. And I can agree with you on that. We do need to educate more, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, for sustainable change, it's like we do work now, a lot of work in charity, and this is a discussion I had with people from a charity in the US today, and I'm like, it's the same thing. Like you can give people a fish, or you can teach them how to fish.
Yeah, you can teach them how to
sorry,
fish.
It's not a non-vegan
Let's not
thing,
teach them how to fish.
Let's teach them not how to fish.
Let's teach them how to grow their own food.
Teach them how to, make a Beyond Fish. But
Ooh, I think they're doing something
Beyond,
like that.
I guarentee you there's a Beyond Fish.
Yeah.
It's a replace the pescatarian. And what's your experience being vegan in Colombia?
I thought it was going to be hard at first. I was like, oh my God, the processed foods, what am I going to, because that's what, I was like a junk food vegan. I just ate a whole bunch of junk food, but that's the thing. I came here and it's like, man, everything happens the way it needs to. I just started to realize, okay, why am I eating all these processed foods? Because processed foods that's not good for you either. And so I thought it was going to be hard. It ended up being absolutely easy. There's a place called, I'm pretty sure you guys have been, Charbets.
The ice cream
Okay.
I
shop?
got some in the fridge upstairs.
We got some upstairs.
Oh, no way.
Charbet is awesome.
That was like, when I first went there, that was kind of like my fix. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is my junk food fix. I'm
Yeah.
so happy. But now I don't, like I go there sometimes, but I eat more raw foods from the earth. And I mainly eat fruit because I do believe, one of the reasons humans are so obsessed with sugar and candy as I used to eat so much like chocolate bars, M&Ms, Hershey's, Twix, you name it. I was eating all of that. It's because we're frugivores. Like, we are meant to eat a lot of fruit. A lot of fruit. I mean, look at our closest relatives, They eat, what do they eat? Bananas. They eat a whole bunch. And that's what I mainly eat. And I've literally lost, like, how many pounds have I lost? Like, 12 pounds. Okay,
Wow.
like just eating this way, eating carbs, man. And that's why I tell people, don't be afraid of them. Just embrace them. Eat natural foods and you won't have to worry about high cholesterol, hypertension, because our liver makes its own cholesterol. We literally get high cholesterol from eating foods like animal foods because they have a liver and they produce cholesterol. So the only way we can get high cholesterol is by eating animal products. So if you want to be healthier, eat a plant-based diet. Like, that's the easiest way. My mom was so sick. Like, my mom was really, really sick, and she started eating plant-based, and like all her health issues just went away. And Earth really has all the answers. Like, it has everything we need, absolutely everything. Herbs, especially. I don't know if you guys are familiar with herbs, but herbs can.
Marijuana?
Other than that,
Okay.
other herbs. That's
okay,
another healing
oregano
herb.
and-
Oregano, mugwort, rosemary, like all of these ancient herbs that our ancestors used to use for healing. The witches, the wizards, all of these people that were bad in society. They got the juice. And I highly suggest to anyone watching this to literally go home and research these things, because the cure is literally right out front, like outside your door. You don't have to go to the pharmacy. You don't have to rely on these big pharmas and corporations to supply you for a temporary cure without treating the symptom. You can treat the symptom. That's what it should be. If you're just treating the cure, you're always going to be a customer. You're always going to keep going back to the store and getting your fix. Oh my God, now I need another pill for this because that one gave me these side effects. So now I have to get this one, and then now I have to get another one and another one. I had a friend like that. She was doped up on pills. She would not get out of bed. And that shit hurts, especially when it's someone close to you and they don't want to listen, because usually the people closest to you,
Well, I mean, you said she doesn't want to listen. Once again, experience in life is the best teacher, which is back to education, right? So you there's so many things, lead a horse to the water, but you can't make it drink. Now,
Exactly.
Now, sometimes we all learn, we talk about this a lot, is that many people have the same message, right? You could listen to 50 different people. Maybe Martin Luther King didn't do it for you. But your mom's friend did. And you're like, holy shit, I just understood that. With the way that they say it. I think like in life, whether it's, and that's why, once again, education is in the way, in different forms that you hear the message. Some people, Andrew and I talk about that a lot. A lot of people need tragedy in order to change, right? We have a friend or two that are overweight, and the excuses are just, you can't count the number of excuses. But we know when those friends will change is when the heart attack happens, right? So and that's unfortunate, but you can't. And for us, I think as protectors, as humans, a lot of ways we protect the people we quote unquote love. We feel that we can strong arm them, and they're just stupid because they're not looking at it, but they're walking their own
path,
right?
Yeah.
And maybe it's the heart attack that's needed.
Yeah.
Maybe it's pill jumping.
Yep.
Maybe it's me eat like a bad piece of meat one day and get salmonella and something else, and it fucks me up for 2 years and messes up my business. Who knows, right? So I think all of that's like a natural process. And I actually think right now, and I think back to it, if we had this conversation 10 years ago, I'm like, what the fuck are these people talking about? so it's called, quote unquote, a movement. It's a revolution. Things are changing. People
It's a
are being
shift,
more
yeah.
It is
It's
definitely
a shift in consciousness. It's a shift.
Sure.
We have to. If we don't do this, we're fucked. Like, that's just how it is. Like, if we don't do this, we are fucked. Because this planet is fucked. Like, we are fucking it up every day by our fucking choices. And I'm sorry, but like, I just have to, like, this stuff really gets me. It gets me very passionate because it's like, yes, you can lead a horse to water and you cannot make it drink, but at the same time, like, this roof that is over us is not just our home. Like, this planet is our home. And if we don't take care of the planet, where are we going to live?
That's a very good point you're making right there, because I had a discussion with a friend of mine. It's so funny, rebranding, right?
But what?
Not people.
Rebrand
Here's
what?
Here's what rebrand.
What do you
here's
want
what,
to
here's what I mean,
rebrand?
Here's what I mean by rebranding. We will have very passionate people come and talk about being vegan all the time. They do not give a fuck about this planet. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Really?
They do not give a flying fuck about this planet. Hear me out right now. Just because you love animals does not mean that you care about anyone else. You could love the fuck out of an animal and kill a human being next to you. Don't come so. There's where there's my stigma. There's my passion. You want to love animals? Love every goddamn thing that lives and breathes. And don't just come and say, I don't eat meat because I love animals. Don't you tell me that when you spit on your neighbor. Don't you tell me that when you put Blue Lives Matter instead of Black Lives Matter. Don't you tell me all that shit. Unless we can speak globally. And I know no human being is perfect, right? We're all going through our stuff. But the same way, which is why I'm saying you can't strong arm, and again, you agreed with it, so I'm not saying that you're saying that. Why it's not about strong arming, and it's showing a different perspective and continued messages in positivity also. Because I see it. Like, you like animals, I like trees, right? So don't cut the tree down to make your house. Don't cut the tree down. I don't want you to try. I'm going to hug the tree. But then you look at me like this crazy shit. You crazy because trees don't feel like animals. Well, I love trees and I love nature. So all I'm saying, and I think it comes down to empathy, and it comes down to really, really thinking. And I think even vegans to the point, like, if you can go and say that as a vegan that you love animals, if you do something against Mother Nature, you're hurting animals.
Yeah.
Right or no?
Well, what? Can you give me some examples? Like, what would be an example of what you're mentioning right now? I've never met a vegan that's killed a human. So.
You've never met a vegan that's killed a human?
No.
There's no vegan soldiers?
I don't know.
I guarantee you there's vegan soldiers.
But that's what they're supposed to do.
What are they supposed to do?
If they're a soldier, then they chose that, right?
Chose to do what?
Whatever being a soldier entails.
Let's be real with it.
Well, I mean, yeah. If you
What do they do?
For example, if I were vegan and
So that's
they said
so.
that
Wait.
you have to join the army.
Okay, 1 second. Wait, hold on. So does that justify?
I'm not justifying it.
Okay,
I'm not
that's
justifying.
that's what I
no
made it
justification.
mean. Okay.
No justification.
Okay,
There's
gotcha.
zero justification.
Okay.
But
So
it's like-
so then they should. But have you met any vegan soldiers?
I don't really know many soldiers. I only know one soldier. It's my cousin. But I guarantee
Is he
there's
vegan?
vegan soldiers. No, he's not vegan.
Well, I don't know because that would go like you said, that would go against.
But there's many vegan soldiers. They have to be. I guarantee we can.
Well,
do-
is there
we
any-
can
if
go
there
over
is
and
any
pull up
vegan
some
soldiers-
No, but
my
that's
point
the
is-
whole point, though. Like, for example, you can't make that argument because then you'd have to make it with everything. For example, like the Christian, like, well, you say you're Christian, but you don't walk the path of Jesus. You don't do it the way that the Bible says.
It's not about being
And you're
perfect.
Christian and you're talking bad about the fucking
Exactly.
people, the Jehovah's
Exactly.
Witnesses,
Exactly.
because they're doing it differently than you. So it's
Yeah.
like,
Which is why I said a rebrand. That's why I kept saying about the rebrand.
but I think it's
because-
like slowly people change. Like, for
But-
example, like,
But what
like
about
as
it?
a vegan,
What about the rebrand? Like, what do you want to rebrand about? Like, what is it about veganism that you would want to rebrand? That vegans claim not to love animals, but they do
I
fucked
don't
up
think-
things?
well,
Is that what
personally,
it
I don't
is?
think it
No,
should
no,
be
no.
rebranded.
I don't think so either.
I don't think
I'm saying a
it needs to be
rebranding
rebranded.
of what veganism or what it means to be a vegan.
Well, yes, yeah.
Right? What
yeah,
it
yeah,
means
yeah.
to be a vegan. Not
Yeah.
that you don't need to stop calling yourself vegan because you're not really vegan. I'm saying, what does that mean? Right?
Yeah,
for
yeah,
people to
100%. I
understand
agree with
also
that. Yeah.
that, like, again, your definition and the way that you walk the vegan life is different than the way Andrew walks the
Yeah,
vegan life.
for
It's different.
sure.
And somebody might make you look soft core. They'd be like, you know what I mean? Like, as a vegan, they'd be like, I'm not even going on that bus. It's got leather seats. Seriously.
Yeah, there's people that, or
there's
they
that.
won't even sit on like couch.
Well,
leather
let me
couches.
lighten this up and make it hardcore at the same time. I want both of you to explain to me because somebody asked me to ask you guys. What is this thing about honey? Why wouldn't you drink? Why wouldn't you use
Oh
honey?
yeah.
Explain that, both of you, because
Do you want to explain? Do you want to explain?
Well,
Or-
but my answer is really easy. When I don't know, the answer is no. Like, should I eat honey? Is it
Necessary?
Is it not only is it necessary, but is it harming the beehive and that animal? I don't know the answer. Is it yes or no? And if I don't know the answer,
It's a
then my
yes.
answer is a no.
Yes, like hurt the bees.
Yes.
Okay.
Like
The-
so,
what they have to do
yeah, when
is
in doubt, it's no.
yeah, 100%.
But it's very easy for me because I'm not like you, many people watching this that are lazy, that don't stick to convictions, that don't believe in things and don't follow through. And
Or they
I
may not know why.
90% of the population
Yeah.
are like that. Weak.
Or they
I'm
may not know.
weak.
Yeah, and they may not know. Like when I first went vegan, I didn't know why honey. Like why honey? But that's what you research, and
And
like
so tell us why.
because they clip the queen's bees. Okay.
The wings. Right?
Yes, her wings. In order for bees to bring back honey to the hive, they have to have the queen bee in there. And what they do, and they even sell them with look on Amazon right now, bees with clipped wings, and you can literally buy them. Well, you don't literally have to, but you can look it up. And they buy them, and it's an industry. These are literally another form of industrialization of animals, and they clip the wings, keep the bee in there, and they have to produce. Once they don't produce anymore, they gas them, they burn
Do you kill
them.
cockroaches?
Do I kill cockroaches? No, I haven't had to.
Okay.
But
Just checking because
Are you going to use that against me?
No, I'm not using that against. I'm not. Wait. So
'Cause I'm used to it.
Anything that I'm asking you, I'm not trying to go against you or to say that what you're doing is right or wrong. Neither way. It's not about that. What I'm saying is I'm playing devil's advocate here because either way, it's one of God's or the world's creatures, right? So the question is, if we see, and I've honestly, imagine I'm not vegan, but I feel, cockroaches, we got a very special.
I don't like
relationship. I
cockroaches,
fucking
and I'm
hate them.
vegan. I don't have to like them.
But exactly, but what I'm saying is when somebody's like, yeah, kill that animal, that spider, I feel terrible.
Yeah.
But yet I eat an animal.
Yeah.
But I feel terrible to be like watching it crawling there. Well, firstly, I'm not going to eat the spider.
Well, yeah,
Right?
and I have a very different opinion of that. Like, for example, if I see a cockroach and I don't like cockroaches because they carry diseases and whatever, I'll kill it, flush it down the toilet because I don't want its eggs. If I just let it free,
Yeah.
shit's gonna come back. And if you kill it and you just leave it there, the eggs will still be in there, and you gotta flush it down the toilet. Don't throw
Hygiene
it in the trash
purposes.
can.
Okay.
And I'll kill it. I don't feel bad for it.
What
But
is Felipe
But
looking
it's
at
not
us?
like I'm cultivating cockroaches
Yeah.
so that I can take advantage of them and kill them. Like, well, that's way different. Why would I do that? Maybe some cultures, some tribes. I know that some tribes in Africa eat actual bugs and stuff and cultivate them and eat them, which is totally different than me seeing a cockroach and being like, I don't want this in my house, or a rat in my house, and killing it and fumigating so that those rats don't come to my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very different, and maybe some vegans will,
The thing is
disagree.
that we humans, we love this black and white, man. Like it has to be like this or like that. We can never just be in the damn middle.
Well, there's
And-
always a person that will try to rationalize so that they feel better.
Yeah,
Right? Like that,
100%.
like, oh, when you kill cockroaches
Yes,
and
so
you're
you're
vegan,
not-
so you're not good enough, so I'm not even going to think about
Yeah.
it.
Is that person saying that you're not good enough, or are they just saying so why? And I think what happens, and which is again,
It's hypocritical.
rebranding. I'm going to come back to the rebranding, back to the word rebranding, because the way in which, at least we see mainstream, we meaning meat eaters, see the education of what being a vegan is like. Take this, you animal killer, and that's the way it comes across, right? So then the natural defense of somebody is to show you the other side of what they may do something you may do something that they don't do, that is equally in their eyes, right, as bad. So it's not necessarily that they're making a justification for eating meat. It's just that I think that everybody in the world has their own choice and their own agenda.
But it could be the same. It's like you talk about the black lives, blue lives.
Okay.
It's like some people may see it like, oh, you're posting Blue Lives Matter, trying to justify or trying to degrade our cause, but they're saying, no, we're trying to say, stop killing our police officers because it was my husband.
Okay,
You
fair
know,
enough.
like that. Maybe they're not saying it to be the devil's advocate.
Oh, of course, not everyone. I agree with that.
Right,
a lot of
right.
people will go all lives matter
Yeah.
because they like Julian that said that all lives matter in response to a post. I said a very emotional post that I posted, and I said, "Hey, man, we'll talk about this later," because I didn't want to throw it on there. I go, "Listen, the thing is, like, for example, if you say, and I'm playing devil's advocate right now because I have nothing against at all anybody's
I don't
choice
think you do.
about being vegan. I'm just saying there's people that are watching this right now that are in their head.
They may think
they're
that-
asking the same thing that
Yeah.
I'm asking. So I'm asking that to hear it from your perspective so they can understand it from, I can't give them that perspective.
Yeah.
Can I
well,
just say
you understand
something?
what I'm saying?
Can I? There's a difference between killing a roach and going to the store and paying for this.
For a roach.
No, for eating dead flesh, eating animals. You're paying for this to continue. I'm not paying anyone to kill roaches on the daily. I'm just doing it because I don't want the roach in my house. Is it hypocritical? You know, we're not fucking perfect. Yeah, it may be hypocritical. And yeah, we should look at ways to not do that. But at the same time, I don't think it's an excuse to say, well, I'm going to continue to do my thing. If anyone out there is thinking that, I'm not saying you are.
Yeah.
Like, oh, just because you kill a roach, I can just keep paying for animal torture and abuse. So yeah, it justifies it. No, it doesn't. You're still literally paying the companies. You're still literally separating moms and kids from each other. You're drinking a cow's milk that doesn't even belong to you, you know? Like, we're grown adults drinking milk from another species. How insane is that?
It's pretty insane.
It's insane.
It's pretty insane.
Like, your mom gave you milk. Why do you need why do you need cow's milk? But anyway,
You
You
didn't
two
have a
girls
mom.
just suck on
so
I can't say you're too grown to suck on a titty. It's
go suck on a titty and let me know how that.
don't look at
on
me
a
like
cow's
that.
titty.
God damn it.
So, Nailah, would you ever date someone that is a meat eater?
No.
Have you before?
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
while being vegan,
Yeah.
you dated someone?
And it didn't go well. He was only vegan. He literally only went vegan because I didn't. And
Yes, man. Do your thing. Be a man.
and because
Trick the shit out of people.
well, I really liked him, but see, this is the only way I would. It's if that person wants to like become vegan. If they see themselves, but it's kind of hard and they don't know what to do, then I would 100% help them.
Right.
And maybe if they're vegetarian and wanted to become vegan, but if they were like meat eaters and they're like, nope, this is it. Okay, cool, you do you, but I'm not
Dangerous.
gonna be.
That's dangerous.
I'm not going to be part of it because those are core values. And when two people have very opposing core values like
Yeah, it's
that,
clash.
it clashes. Like religion or even veganism. Like, man, I'm not going to sit at a table for I don't know how much if we like decide to become partners for life, right? And see you eat like a piece of like animal there. It's going to make me feel really sad and just not good at all. And how can I want to get close to you in that way spiritually? Because, you know, apart from like physically getting close, you want to get spiritually close with a person as
Right,
well.
right.
And like, yeah, it'd be hard. It'd be really hard. And I tried it and it didn't go well. What
Wow.
about you?
Yeah.
Would you?
I've never dated a vegan actually in my whole life. And my whole time here, I've never had a girlfriend that was vegetarian or vegan. But now that I've been almost 2 years being vegan, it's like my last girlfriend wasn't vegan and she wasn't a big eater anyway. So like anytime I'd go eat with her, she would be like, okay, I'm just gonna not eat meat, whatever. And that was okay. But you're right, like the whole core value type thing, it's kind of hard, you know. It would be hard for me like to be like, yeah, I'm gonna give this a shot. Fuck, I'm 39 years old. How many shots am I gonna give?
Exactly.
I don't know, but the last two girls that I dated, the last one was vegan, the one before was vegetarian.
Vegetarian, yeah.
But you as a meat eater, do you have a problem with that?
With what?
With dating like vegan girls?
Why would I have a problem with that? I wouldn't.
Exactly.
I don't have a problem. And
There's
but there's also there's also like, okay, like on our first date, I told her, and she's very vegan. Let's put it this way. I said, listen, because we talk about it. We had a date. We're both eating vegan pizza, and I was like, this is really good. And I loved watching her eat, because it was the first time, I think, in recent memory that I remember a woman she'd be like, fuck off, because I'm out here to eat. And she was just like eating. I was like, wow, it was
No
refreshing.
shame.
It was no shame.
Yeah.
Like blah, 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 little things on her face. I'm like, that's the cutest thing I've ever seen. So I really love that. And I said, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to say I will never be vegan, nor will I tell you that I will be vegan, but I certainly will learn and try.
Yeah.
Learn and try. And I did decrease a lot the amount of meat that I ate. And one of the things is I realized out of respect that for her and her values, that in her presence, I wouldn't eat meat. Although I ended up eating meat a few times with her, it was always like, I'm never going to go to a restaurant and be like, I'm going to have a slab of steak, for example, while you eat that. I'm like, while I'm with you, I understand. Like, even I would be like, you want to kiss me? And she's like, before she was like this, and then after she's like, fuck it, and things became like sort of normal, but we never, not even had one argument or one, and even with the vegetarian person, conflict because I ate meat. But then again, it's because there was that like sort of like mutual respect in a way.
Yeah.
And she knew that I was processing whatever I was processing, and I could verbalize what I was thinking, and it was like, okay, you're not being an ignorant ass. So like we could see eye to eye. But that's so funny. He's been here, never dated a vegetarian or vegan, and the last two people I dated were
that is funny.
It's funny because I've never actually met many vegetarians or vegans.
Yeah, me either, except outside of the activism groups. Other than that,
well, there's a lot of vegan. And actually, you know what? The other reason why I think that it's very attractive to me is that I'm attracted to everything I'm not. I'm attracted to anybody that stands for something, and I realize that they really stand for something. That is so fucking attractive to me, regardless if it's a religion, if it's whatever. I'm like, you stand up for that, and you have a logical way of talking to me about that. I'm like, wow, you just schooled me, right? And I'll take that. And for me, that's like super attractive. That's why I think I even like attract that personality.
Yeah.
Too.
That's funny. I was thinking about that too on my way here.
Yeah.
I was thinking about how like we always want or are intrigued by the opposite of what we are.
100%.
And but then we should integrate it.
Yeah.
You know, we shouldn't wait for that person to come in. We should, we can, but we should also integrate it. And if that person goes away, still keep that in there so that we can because sometimes those attractions are bad, man. Like they're toxic. Like they will literally fuck you up sometimes. Not all, but my experience has been like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was episode 48? 48 of the Colombia podcast. For those of you guys that don't know, we're on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Spotify, on Google Play, Apple Podcast, and everywhere else in the world. Just turn on your TV and you'll see our goddamn faces. But today, I thought this podcast was really interesting because we've never had a person that is so different. So I learned a lot. I know, Joel, what did you think?
I wish if I could ask more like Ali G type questions, like, so do vegans shave? We didn't even get to those type of really ignorant questions that I want to bring out there. Yeah.
Maybe we'll ask them in Spanish.
Oh yeah. I don't know how to say that. Okay, yeah, I know that. No, it was really good. I think if people actually make it through these episodes, they probably don't know what's coming to the end of this episode. Hence is why we have to cut these episodes up, because we start off and we're talking about Beyond Meat and bad vegan sex jokes, and then we end up really talking about obviously passionate stuff. So I actually like that. I love the balance, and this is I think the number 3 podcast, which I've only had one glass of alcohol.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, so thank you guys for joining us. We're going to take a little break right now. We'll be right back to do some of the questions in Spanish. Obviously, it's not going to go as long as this English one, but we'll be asking the same questions in Spanish para los que nos están viendo en español. Vamos a tomar una pausa ahorita y después vamos a continuar con las mismas preguntas un poco más condensadas en español. Entonces, no se vayan.
Sí, vamos a calentar motores.
Calentar motores.
If you want to see Andrew in a skinny leopard print thong, please be sure to follow us and listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, or any other major podcast platforms. And Andrew, if they want to see our ugly faces, what should they do?
They could see us on Facebook, on Instagram, and YouTube for show.